Chapter 4, Section 5. Isosceles and equilateral triangles. An isosceles triangle has two congruent sides and two congruent angles. Two congruent sides, two congruent angles. Okay, if these are the two congruent sides, alright, they're called legs, or referred to as legs. The third side is called the base. If these are the two congruent sides, then the angles opposite those are the congruent angles. And those are called base angles. You already know all this, right? The third angle up here, that's called the vertex angle. Got that, Garcia? What if you get a picture of a triangle and you're told that these two angles are congruent? What else do you think you can conclude? That the legs are congruent. Good. Or the sides opposite those angles are congruent. On page 266, there's the isosceles triangle theorem, and it says if two sides are congruent, then the opposite angles are congruent. Okay? And on 267 is the converse of that theorem, and it says that if the two base angles are congruent, then the sides opposite that are congruent. And you may be asked in your assignment which theorem applies, so just know that there's a difference between the two. Any questions there? Alright, in this picture. Yes?
I don't see the difference
between the two theorems? Yeah. Alright, one says, the first theorem says, if that is congruent to that, then that is congruent to that. Okay? That's like going one direction. That's your conditional statement. The other theorem says it's the converse of it. It says that if you have a triangle and that angle is congruent to that angle, then that side is congruent to that side.
Oh, okay.
So it depends on what information is given when you look at the triangle. If they give you the sides and ask you about the angles, well, you know the angles are congruent, and it's because of the isosceles triangle theorem. If they give you the angles and you determine that the sides are congruent, then it's because of the converse of the triangle theorem. Okay? Here's how it works. If you get this picture and you're told that that is x degrees and this is 20, and you're asked to solve for x. Your favorite? No. If this is equal to x, what's this equal to? X. Right? Because if the two sides are congruent, then the angles opposite those sides are congruent. It's an isosceles triangle. So what does x plus 20 have to equal? 80. Very good, because it's a triangle. And now you can just do a little algebra, right? 2x plus 20 equals 180. Subtract 20. Divided by 2. 2x equals 160. Divided by 2. And x is going to equal 80. Alright, so each of these angles would measure 80 degrees. Everybody alright with that? Simple enough? Bless you. Alright, in this case, can you start filling in information? I would fill that in first, wouldn't you? Yeah. How much is that? 7. Nice. So what's x equal to? 7. Good. So what's y equal to? 70 and 70 is 140. You need 40 more, don't you? To get to 180. Okay? Look at the top of page 268. Theorem 4.5. It doesn't even get a name, you know? I mean, that is wrong. No, I don't want to mislead anyone. Okay, you got to stay real focused here. You ready? Triangle. Now what kind of triangle? Isosceles. What are these two angles called? The base angles. What's this angle called? The vertex angle. So let's read this definition, or this theorem. If a line bisects the vertex angle of an isosceles triangle. If a line, you ready? If a line bisects. Bisects means? Splits it in half. Good. It bisects the vertex angle. Does that bisect the vertex angle? Agreed? If both of those angles are equal to each other, then it bisects it, doesn't it? Then the line is also the perpendicular bisector of the base. Perpendicular means intersects at 90. Bisector again means splits in half. A lot of information, right? If a line bisects the vertex angle of an isosceles triangle, then basically it intersects the other side at 90 degrees and it splits it in half. Okay? Bless you.
That should be called the isosceles bisector.
The isosceles bisector perpendicular theorem of relativity. Squared. Okay. Any questions there? So if that's 2m and that's 20, okay, m equals 10, doesn't it? Okay. And if angle ABD equals 30, then angle ABC equals 60, doesn't it? Nicely done. If this little one here is 30, ABD, then this one is 30, and this big one, the whole thing, is those two added together. Okay? Any questions on that? What's this angle?
90.
90, good. So if you had to solve for x here, you could start filling in stuff you know, which to me is usually easier. If these two sides are congruent, what do you know about these two angles? So that's 54, right? If this is an angle bisector, what's this measure? Now, can't you take 54 and 90 and subtract them from 180? Okay, so what's x going to be equal to?
36.
Very good. Okay? Good. All right, on the bottom of page 268, there's two more, they call them corollaries to theorem 4.3 and 4.4. The first one says that if a triangle is equilateral, equilateral means all the sides are the same. If a triangle is equilateral, then it is also equiangular. If all the sides are equal to each other, then all the angles are equal to each other. Okay? So what would the converse of that be?
If all the angles are equal to each other, then on the side.
Good. If all the angles are congruent, then what's x equal to? Okay. And what's y equal to?
I'm pretty sure it's not. N-I-E. N-E-I.
What's y equal to?
60. 45. No. 60. 60, yeah.
60, isn't it? If all these are the same, and they've got to add up to 180,
You have to divide 180 by
it's got to be 180 divided by 3. So in this case, x is going to be equal to 10, and y is going to be equal to 60. Any questions?
But with an equilateral, they'll always be certain. The angles will always be certain.
In an equilateral?
Yes. Pretty much.
If all the sides of the triangle are the same, then all the angles are going to have to be equal to 60 degrees. Right. You said 30, but you meant 60. What would an isosceles right triangle look like? Would it look like a right triangle, first of all? Isosceles. Alright, so if that's a right triangle, if it's isosceles, which two sides are going to be the same?
The two sides on the E.
Those two?
Yeah.
Opposite angles are going to be congruent, right? So what are those two angles going to equal?
45.
No, I didn't mean it.
You meant 45, right? 30 plus 15. Good. Because if that's 90, and those two are equal to each other, you got 90 left to get to 180. Divided by 2 is 45. Right, Jeff? Good. Good boy. All right, your assignment for today is going to be page 269. 1 through 18. There's not going to be homework. This is your assignment for today. Now, I may ask questions about this assignment tomorrow night, but I'm giving you free tonight so that you can focus on retaking a quiz if you need to. You had a day off yesterday, so don't ask for too much.
I have a question. We're not allowed to watch certain movies. Why are we allowed to watch numbers?